We're going to take a look at example B. Our question says determine the measure of the marked angles. So we're going to try to figure out what x, y, and z all equal. So when I'm looking at a question, there is an awful lot going on. I see that there are two different triangles. I see one marked angle, and I see some tick marks showing that I have equal sides. So I do like when I'm doing these questions to try covering up different parts of the picture to see if I can try to find, angles that I could calculate or patterns that I can see. And sometimes it's hard when you see the whole picture at once. There's a lot there, and it really does help to cover it up. So if I look at the triangle down here, I have one angle and I am missing two. That's not enough information for me to be able to calculate what any one of those angles are because it's not isosceles. It doesn't have markings to show that any of those sides are equal. But I do have equal markings on this one. So this one has all three sides marked as equal, which means it's equilateral. And equilateral triangles have three equal sides and three equal angles. And we learned that specifically all of those angles equal 60 degrees. So I can actually just go ahead and say that x is 60 degrees. I do not need to show a calculation. But my reasoning, you could write out the word equilateral because it's an equilateral triangle, or the short form is ETT for equilateral triangle theorem. Okay, and I am going to mark that on my picture because I think it might help. Okay, so we've already said that that triangle there has two things we don't know, and I can't solve for both at the same time. If I focus on that 60 that I know, I have a straight line there, but I don't really know what this one is, and I'm not sure I care. There's a straight line there. That doesn't really help me. There's a straight line there. Still doesn't really help me. But I do see my favorite theorem of all time, which is there are two straight crossing lines to make an X, which means these are opposite angles and they should be equal. So if X is 60 degrees, then Y is also 60 degrees because of the opposite angle theorem, otherwise known as OAT. And that does not require any work. I can just label that this is 60 degrees. So once I've done that, I now know two of the angles in that triangle. And I know that triangles, the angles add to 180 degrees. So I can add these three things together to help me find Z using SATT and saying that Z plus 82 plus 60 equals 180 degrees. I have some like terms. I'm going to collect those. 82 plus 60 is 142. And then if I subtract 142 from both sides, I get 38 degrees. So Z would be 38 degrees because of SAT.